Hiveaura Collective. Welcome to your weekly guidance reading. I'm just going to take a second and light my candle here. I always like to light a white candle when I do my energetic readings because it allows for, I view fire as a way to absorb any of the unwanted energy, and a white candle symbolizes spiritual protection, and so I just like to have that in the background as I do energetic readings. I hope you are doing well. This is a collective reading for all of you for the week of April 3rd to 8th, I believe is the week we're into right now. Last week I know the reading was a bit on the longer side. It won't be quite that long this time around. In the spirit of full disclosure, because I believe as a collective it's important to be honest and open, this is coming to you a day late because I am a special education teacher, and sometimes my job is energetically exhausting, and I have a lot of responsibilities, and I work with a lot of kids that require a significant amount of attention, as does their families, and so I support them day in and day out. And when that happens, sometimes some days are particularly harder than others, and that's the situation I found myself in yesterday. And so from an energetic place, I did not record a reading yesterday because I felt that my energy was already very low. And it's not fair to the collective that my energy is not up to par, because this is such an energetic expense for me. And so I prefer that my energy flow be at a certain level before I exchange that with you, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And so I put off the reading yesterday into today. So now you have it. That's the long and short of it. I will only do 3 cards today. We're going to go back to my traditional 3-card spread. And that will be our current energy right now this week that we find ourselves in, a message from your teams of light, your guides, the angels, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, and next directions, what's to come. And then maybe we'll look at a support card because it is the pink full moon tomorrow. So we'll see about that. As always, I like to start with some kind of channeled message, something that lands on my heart from week to week that I can share with you and hopefully you resonate and connect with. And this week it's the idea of being in limbo. It's a bit of an odd one for me. And I'm not exactly sure how you're all feeling collectively, but the message that I've been guided by my angels to deliver to you is that if you feel you're currently stuck in the middle, securely fastened in the middle, not continuing on, but not falling below, just continuing on status quo, know that that is okay. You have been guided here for a reason. You have landed in the middle for a reason. If you feel like you're not quite sure one way or the other, know that there is a lesson to be learned for the place that you are in currently. I've been feeling this a bit lately. And so I know that if as an intuitive person and an empath, I've been getting that energy from a lot of people as well. And so if you feel that way, I just want you to know that it is okay to be in the middle. It is okay not to necessarily have a clear direction at this moment in time. Maybe there is something more here for you in this moment that you need to learn, a lesson that hasn't quite fully been realized, or there is something that you need to share with somebody in this moment at this time in order to move out of this feeling of limbo, this feeling of being stuck, this feeling of moving forward. But I will say with that, you are never required to make any moves that do not feel absolutely right for you. So sometimes being stuck in the middle, being in that limbo place is the exact place that you need to be. Always make sure that you are steadfast in your choices and your decisions. I hope that message resonates with you. We'll sort of carry that into the reading as well. I didn't introduce myself because I feel like I've been doing this for you for a few weeks now, but if you're new here, I am Emily McKinney Cody. I am a certified angel guide through Hay House. I am an intuitive psychic. I go into meditation and I connect with your teams of light and your guides. And as a service, I offer angel guide sessions where I often get signs, symbols, and images as a clairaudient and clairvoyant mystic, and colors which I associate with angels that come into my screen, and then I relay those messages to you, and then I read your cards. So that's sort of what I offer as a service, and that's who I am as a practitioner. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about it. On another note, I know some of you were at the networking dinner that we had last Friday. It was lovely to meet those of you that I met. If I didn't meet you and you were there and you wanted to chat, please jump into my DMs. You can find me at Connecting with Cody. I would love to have a conversation with you. Okay, so let's get into it. So we had our channeled message, which is the message of being in limbo, and it's okay if you feel stuck. Not everything moves as fast as we think it should. And another hard, quick, fast download that's coming in for you about that message of being in limbo is that oftentimes it feels that we are stuck, but we are not actually. When we turn around and look back on it from the present to the past, we often see that it looked like this. I hope that's making sense for you. When things come hard, fast, and quick for me, I consider those are what are called downloads. And so I sort of just ramble out whatever comes to mind, and that is the message that you are given and needed to hear from my teams of light to yours. And so progress is not linear, and so even when we do feel stuck, sometimes we are not. We are actually making small baby steps, and I would rather you make small baby steps that feels like you are going very slowly rather than big leaps where you miss a lot along the way. I would always love for you to turn around and go, holy shit, I was actually doing more than I thought I was. And I actually came further than I thought I had. Always, always, and forever. And so when I tell you that there's no need to rush things, it's not that I'm telling you not to make decisions. It's not that I'm telling you not to move fast. It's not that I'm telling you that you need to move at a slower pace. It's none of those things. It's just that maybe you're actually moving quicker than you thought you were, but you just feel very stuck, like you're in limbo. Make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. When I talk about channeled messages, that's what often happens. I start with a message that sits on my heart, and then as I relay it to you, my guides do their job from them through my mouth to you. I rattle it off very quickly. That is a download that comes through. It is not a thought that I originally hold. It is something that I speak from my teams to yours. So I hope that resonated with you, and with that, we will get into it. So I am going to invite you, as always, to participate in this little grounding exercise that I like to start all of my readings with, collective or individual. So if you are able, I invite you to sit somewhere where you can securely center yourself, ground yourself, put your feet on the ground. If you are able, close down your eyes. I'm going to invite you to do that now. We're going to connect very deeply to our soul and ground ourselves. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in and release them. As you inhale, I want you to think about inhaling all of the things that you need in this moment. And as you exhale, I want you to think about releasing anything that no longer serves you. So I'm going to invite you to close down your eyes. First, big deep breath in. Inhaling everything we need, holding at the top. And release. Let go of what no longer serves us. We're going to do that again. Big deep breath in. Hold at the top. Release. Letting go all of the air, pushing it out through our lungs. Releasing what does not serve us. So that does not belong here. One more time, I'm going to invite you to take a giant, big, deep breath in through your nose. Hold at the top. And release. Releasing everything that we've been holding on to in the day that weighs heavy on our hearts, weighs heavy on our shoulders. This is your permission to release it, to let it go, to be here in this moment, and to receive the messages that are meant for you. Guardians of the four corners, Father in the earth. Wow. Sometimes I get flustered. I'm going to start that again. Guardians of the four corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call you in and ask for you to be here now. I trust and set the intention that whatever is gained and whatever is learned from the messages that these tools provide are for the highest good of all involved. As above, so below, as within, so without. So be it, and so it is. I think it's important to remember that everyone gets flustered from time to time and nothing is perfect. And even if you have done something 100 times, there is still room for error, and that is okay because that is a part of the human experience. And so I hope that that little blip for me taught you something. It would be important for you also to remember that you need to give yourself grace. There is more than one thing happening to you at a time, and many things can be true at the same time, meaning many things can be good for you right now, and many things can also feel very difficult and hard. It is not that things always have to feel the same given the vibration that we're in, and sometimes that can be very difficult to hear. So I hope that whatever you receive through this reading supports you, it resonates with you, and you are able to take it with you for this week and use it to your advantage, use it to learn something about yourself. So with that being said, let's get into the cards. 3-card spread, current energy, message from your teams of light, your guides, the universe, the angels, whatever you prefer to relate to, and then next directions, what's to come, things that we need to think about as we move forward. Just want to give them a good shuffle to make sure that everything is mixed. There are many ways to choose your cards. I always prefer to rub my hands together because I prefer to create an environment of energy where I'm guided to the cards that pull the most energy from my hands. So I rub my hands together to create some friction, and then I hover over them, and whichever ones are the warmest are the ones that I choose, because those are the ones that are calling to us. That one is very warm. Like I said, there are many different ways to choose your cards. If you prefer to look, like close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, center yourself, open your eyes quickly, and then pull the first card that you look at. That's one way to do it as well. It's really about finding a technique and a method that feels right for you, feels aligned for you, supports what you're trying to attract and receive. And there's no really wrong way to do it, is the other big thing. Oftentimes people feel that card reading has to be difficult, and it really doesn't. Whatever way the cards support you is the way that you need to do it. Okay, that feels very warm. So last week we spoke about our projecting hands and our receiving hands. And so the first 2 cards came from my left hand, which for me is my dominant hand, and that means it is my receiving hand. It is messages that we need to hear as a collective. The third and final card came from my right hand, which is my projecting hand, which in the world of witchcraft, which is also part of who I am and what I practice, this is my non-dominant hand, and it is the messages that offer us something that can be released, that we don't necessarily have to take with us. So let's get started. Our current energy for the collective for the week of April 3rd to 8th, I believe, is interesting. I actually did a reading for a client, and this card came through at the end of last week. We had Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. So right now we are in, if we're looking at our channeled message and we're feeling like maybe we're a little bit stuck, we're in this limbo, we're not really sure what comes next, it's going to be super, super important for us to be open to the information that is coming in from other parties. Sometimes we feel, when we think about being open to healing information, sometimes it can be very closed off, and that's because there are things that we don't necessarily want to know, but sometimes there are things that we need to know. And so it might come in an unexpected way. But just know that if there's somebody reaching out to you, or if someone is trying to get their point across or tell you something and you just don't want to hear it, maybe take a step back and open your mind a little bit and hear what they have to say. Entertain it. See if it resonates with you. See if actually what comes through makes sense to you and you weren't thinking about it in that way. This is also an invitation to reflect and check in with yourself, because there is a lot of information that we hold in our bodies that we don't realize that we're holding on to. And so you might be called in this moment to sit with yourself and reflect and heal some of the things that you're holding on to on the inside. Healing information isn't just about things that come out from the outside. Sometimes it's the things that come from within as well. One thing I will say to you about this really beautiful card is that the Medicine Guardian is green, and this is associated with Archangel Raphael, who is green, and he is the Archangel of healing, and healing ourselves and centering ourselves and learning about ourselves and knowing that there's always work to be done, and that is okay. So in this current moment, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling in the middle, maybe you have to sit with yourself and understand why you feel that way, why you feel like you're in the middle, why you're not sure if the directions you're moving resonate with you, and doing a little bit of that inner work. A great thing for you to do would be to grab your shadow journal that is in the group for free, I might add, and do a little bit of work around that. So that is your current energy. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. One thing to remember is that you are always in charge of your life. So if there's things that need to be fixed within, if you need to work on yourself, if you need to heal parts of yourself, that falls on you. You are the only one who knows what truly lies on your heart. And until you verbalize that, or until you're ready for that, no one else is going to know, right? And unless you ask for support, no one else is going to be able to help you other than yourself. So be open to that as well. That was your current energy card for this week in April. Okay, I hope that resonated with you. I hope you felt good about that. The next card is a message from our guides or from our teams of light. This is meant to support you. You can call it the universe, you can call it God, you can call it guardian angels, whatever resonates the most with you. This is to support you for the path that you are currently on. And we have Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Okay, so we have another in readings, card readings, psychic readings, whatever it is, excuse me, we look for what we call synchronicities, things that match up, things that line up. You have two very powerful green cards here, which is a signifier that Archangel Raphael is supporting us heavily through this time period. Okay, right now on this current timeline, this week, the things that we're moving into, we have to remember that Raphael is here and we can heal ourselves, or we can call in and ask for healing if it's for someone else, because that is the other thing that I forget to mention about card readings. Sometimes cards are not always meant for just us, singularly, me or you or whatever. Sometimes it's as a collective, sometimes it's for someone you know. Just because a card doesn't resonate with you doesn't mean that it's not resonating for somebody else that you know in your life. And the same thing is true for the angels, right? Maybe there's somebody in your life that you know would benefit from Archangel Raphael, the healer, so you can call on him to support that person. Same thing with the cards. So the message from our teams of light is that now more than ever in this very uncertain time where you're unsure of where you're landing, unsure of where you are, if you're feeling like you're stuck in the middle, if you feel like you're in limbo, you have to ground yourself. You have to go inward, and you have to know what feels right. Just like we did at the beginning of this, we grounded ourselves. We centered ourselves. We took time for us to put our feet on the floor and to be here now, to be in the moment. And we live in a world where things happen quick and fast, and we are always moving, and there's not a lot of time to think. And once we finish one thing, we're on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and we're not checking in with ourselves. We are not grounded. We are not centered in the things that support us. And so the message from our angels in this moment, from our guides, from the universe, is that you are one with the earth, and you need to act as if. So you need to stay rooted in who you are and what you want and your desires and your needs. And so this is a really beautiful time, especially now that we're into the spring. Things are warming up. It's lighter out longer. Take some time to ground yourself in nature. Go for a walk. Go somewhere where you can just sit and have your feet in nature. I'm not telling you to take off your shoes. It's still too fucking cold for that. We know it. But if you just need to sit and hear the birds sing, if you can't get out for a walk and you just need to sit outside on your balcony, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but you can just, it's just important for you to find a way that stays grounded. Now, that being said, this is Earth Guardian. Being outside in nature is very important if that's what connects with you. But for some of us, our elemental connection is not just with the earth, right? Some of us are water beings, myself being one of them. Water is very powerful for me. I feel the most grounded when I am in the water. And so for you, maybe that looks like taking a bath. That's what it looks like for me in the winter. In the summertime, I'm at the beach, right? I find ways to make it work and to incorporate it. If I'm not if I know that I need to be grounded and a bath isn't an option, filling a jar with water and saying a prayer and filling it with things that are important to me ritualistically is a way to ground yourself as well. There are many ways to do it. So look into your element, see what feels right for you, and find a way to ground yourself when things feel wobbly under your feet. I hope that makes sense and that resonates with you. All right, we're going to get into our third and final card. What's to come, next directions. An important reminder is that Oracle angel cards, they're not predictive. They're not about telling your future. It's just about validating where you are and helping you move through that. So, next directions, what's to come. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. I feel like we had this last week, but it was in a different position. It was our current energy. And now it is in the final card, meaning, and it came from my right hand. Remember, these are things that we can let go of and that don't serve us in this moment. So last week we had our shield up, we were focused, we were ready to make a plan. But right now it's in the third and final position. So what you're being guided to this week in terms of this energy is that, okay, you've done those things, you've set that plan, you've had your focus, and that is all very good and still very important. We're not telling you to let that go. But what we are telling you is that now it is okay to drop your shield a little bit, to get grounded and to be open to the information that's coming in so that you can navigate your path better. That is the point. And so I love when cards show up like right after in another reading, but are in different positions, because it changes the message. It changes what it represents and how it represents and how it supports you. And so Shield Mating is letting you know that we see the work that you have done. You're supported fully in that, but it's also okay to drop your shields and let other things in to support the vision and the mission and where you're going next. So that's your card, your third and final card. I hope that felt really good for you. I hope that you connected and resonated with it. I feel like these are really good cards this week. They carry a very significant message about being true to ourselves, healing ourselves, grounding ourselves, and being aware of ourselves. I'm going to pull you a support card. I am running a bit longer than I anticipated, so I'm a liar from the beginning. But I am going to pull you a card from my Moon Phases deck, my Moonology deck, because it is a full moon tomorrow, 5th into the 6th, and it is the pink moon, which is the moon for spring. It's when things are starting to come back to life. It has nothing to do with the actual color of the moon. And so we're just going to do this quickly to support us in this message. Waxing crescent moon, have faith in your dreams. Really pretty, really beautiful card, reminding us that we have to hold the faith always. We always have to show up, and we always have to believe in what it is that we're working for, because if we do not believe in it anymore, then it is not the dream that we hold. and it still doesn't serve us. So don't be afraid to let it go and recenter yourself. Have a look, check in with yourself, heal yourself if need be. And if your dream changes, that's okay. Your dream's allowed to change. Mine change all the time, and I know, I'm sure yours do too. Don't be afraid to make that pivot. It is okay, but whatever you choose to do, make sure you hold significant faith in it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to these collective readings. Thank you for all of your support. If you want an angel guide session, please feel free to DM me. You can find me on Instagram at Connecting with Cody. I do have a Facebook page of the same name, but I am very bad at keeping it up. If you are new to the collective, welcome to Hiveaura Collective. We are so happy to have you here. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube page, Hiveaura Inc. You can find the Facebook group, Hiveaura Collective, and then you can find us on all social media. I believe it's at Hiveaura Inc. on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. Thank you for receiving this message. And if it resonated with you at all, please drop a comment. I would love to see what parts hit for you the most. I love you.